If pictures could tell 1,000 words, we're getting ready to talk about a mother and a son. We haven't heard about a father in this story, but according to an affidavit, this story is out of Little Rock, Arkansas. New information has been released regarding the 16-year-old boy that you guys saw in the picture with his mom right here. His name is Kaelon Presley, which is Kaelon, 16 years old, and he's being charged as an adult for the death of his own mother. Now, for the people that followed this story when it first came out, that's why sometimes I like to kind of give it a few days before we try to report on these stories, because this information was updated for a lot of different things, okay? But the Little Rock Police Sergeant Willie Davis said that he called 911 on Saturday, December the 14th, after he received a phone call regarding a homicide on Brush Creek Avenue. He said the call came from a student that he mentors. The call came from a student that he mentors. So if you have a mentor, what does that usually mean? That usually means there is not a father in the household. How many times have I told you guys that this dynamic is dangerous for us to only be raised by our mothers? The reason for that is because women in general, hashtag not all for the people that want to get mad, women in general cannot raise a boy to be a man. He is going to be lacking some very, very big things that he needs and only can get from his biological father. Hope everybody catches what I'm saying. Give me a second. Now, like I said, it doesn't apply to everybody, but these boys in general are going to look at their father as the example of what they should grow up into being. And if they do not have that example, then they have a lessened value of themselves. And if they have a lessened value of themselves, then they're going to exude what's on the inside of them emotionally, spiritually, and physically out on everybody else in the world. Now, the crazy thing about this thing is that it takes a little bit of a turn that a lot of people did not realize. They just thought that this boy got mad at his mom and shot his mom. That's what they thought at first. But Sergeant Davis said the student was inside the residence with the victim who had been shot. At 8:27 a.m., a caller called 911 regarding the same incident and advised her girlfriend's son, 16-year-old Kaelon Presley, told her that someone came into the residence and shot his mom by the name of Shondra Miller, who was 37 years old. So she was roughly about my age, okay? Upon officer's arrival, contact was made with Presley, who said he had taken his dog outside and the dog got away from him. He said while he was out with the dog, someone entered the residence and shot his 37-year-old mother, Shondra Miller, okay? Officers located Miller inside the residence with an apparent gunshot wound to the head. She was later pronounced dead by medical personnel. The residence was secured and homicide detectives along with crime scene units were notified and responded to the scene. Here's the thing. In these situations, one thing that homicide is going to look for is what? How many people know? They're usually going to look for a motive. In this case, if you ran outside with your dog, lost the dog, and someone came in your house and shot and killed your mom, and they didn't steal anything, they didn't ransack your house, they didn't attempt to come back and shoot you. Oh, yes, I did, Jessica. Yes, I read that. Thank you so much. One would have to ask, why would they do that? This random person would just run up in your house, shoot your mom, and just leave. Okay? That's the first thing to me, which is why I think I might make a good ass detective, because to me, that already doesn't make any damn sense. The first thing that they're going to look for is a motive. They can clearly see what happened. Somebody was shot. The question is why? Now, while on the scenes, detectives made contact with 28-year-old Brianna Barnes, who said she lived at the Bush Creek Avenue location and had spoke to Presley over the phone, who told her that something happened to Miller. Barnes agreed to respond to the 12th Street station for further investigation. At the 12th Street station, detectives conducted a recorded interview with Barnes, who said that she left the residence that morning around 6:40 a.m. and went to work. Barnes said that Miller called around 7 a.m. and didn't get a response. She then called Presley, and he told her that he let the dog out of the residence, had to chase the dog down, and someone entered the home and killed his mom. Excuse me. Barnes said that she thought it was a prank, and then said that Presley sent her a photo of his dead mom. Oh my goodness. If what was already going on wasn't heinous enough, he took a picture and sent it to this woman of his dead mom. I'm sorry, but I don't care what's going on with somebody. That's not something I could ever do. Not in this life, not in the next life, or the life after that. I could not fathom taking a picture of somebody that I love or somebody that raised me that's dead. That's weird. I don't know how many of y'all think that's weird. While you guys are here, if you would click that thumbs up, it'll help share our stream and let other people know that we are currently live. I know not everybody's getting the notifications. I know that. I know. They thought it was a prank. But Presley sent a photo of his dead mother. Barnes said she asked Presley if he called the police and said he did not, and didn't want to because he was driving his mother's car and did not want to get in trouble. Another key piece of information. Barnes returned to the residence where she met with detectives. Mrs. Barnes advised the front and rear of the residence was monitored by motion capture activated cameras. Motion activated cameras, and provided detectives with a view of the camera system. What's crazy is most of these people that we talk about would have ended up lying about everything that happened if not for a camera. That's why I think that having a camera around is the most important thing, that is a very, very important investment, okay? Now, the rear camera to the residence showed motion at approximately 7:03 a.m., showing Presley exiting the residence to the middle of the yard. Now, in that video, Presley appears to throw some objects towards the rear of the yard and then entering the residence. The video shows no other activity from the residence before or during the time of the murder. The video shows, other than Presley's activity followed by when detectives arrived on scene. Now, detectives began researching social media and found an entry which is identified as Kaelon Presley. The entry advised, "R.I.P. Mom, I love you. I'm so sorry." I don't know if I have that. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find that screenshot real quick for you guys. Because I have a few screenshots here. I might not have that one. Let me see. We'll talk about that one here in a minute. We'll talk about that one here in a minute. So I don't see it as of right now, but let's move on past that. Based on witness statements, information received, and video surveillance, Presley was considered a person of interest in this homicide. Now, according to Presley, he had been given a handgun to hold for a friend on Saturday morning. His mother said something to him that made him angry, leading him to get the gun and shoot her while she sat on the couch playing on her phone. We're going to take a pen and put it in that part of the story, and we're going to come back to it. Because the mom was sitting on the couch playing on her phone. This is, let me see, what date did they say that this happened? December the 14th. Let's back it up. Okay, that would have been on a Saturday, so I could skip that part. Never mind. Presley attributed his actions to the fact that he had been physically and mentally abused by his mother and have been having violent thoughts leading up to the shooting. Keep in mind, Presley said that after he shot his mom, he picked up the spent shell casings and went into the backyard where he threw it towards the back of the yard. He then got into his mother's car and left the area to his friend's house where he dropped off the gun. After leaving the friend's house, Presley said he went to the gas station and returned home where he met with officers. He said he never called 911 about his mom being shot. Now, Presley has been charged. Now, this is where it gets crazy. The 16-year-old boy has been charged as an adult with first-degree murder and tampering with physical evidence. According to the Pulaski County Prosecutor's Office, said Kaelon Presley had entered a plea and an arraignment hearing Monday morning, and his bond was set at $1 million. $1 million. By the way, he pleaded not guilty. Now, I'm going to introduce some information here in a moment, but let me go ahead and give you guys the fair usage and let you hear what happened in the news stories. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Thank you for joining us tonight at 5, everybody. I'm Bob Clausen.
And I'm Ashley Katz. A Little Rock teenager is in jail tonight on a $1 million bond. He's accused of killing his mother.
The 16-year-old appeared in court this morning, and this evening got new details in the case. Claire Kreitz joining us now. She's been following this all day long. Also, Claire, we understand that this teen is going to be charged as an adult.
That's right, Bob. He is 16-year-old Kaelon Presley went in front of a judge for the first time this morning. I was in that hearing. According to police, Presley first told them he took his dog out before.
Let me give a shout out real quick to Elissa Deeds, who was in the chat, also a channel member, by the way. Miss Cash Brown said his girlfriend said that he'd been planning this since October. Thought I'd throw that out there. Because me and her share a lot of information back and forth. I want to give you a shout out for that. But she said that his girlfriend said that he'd been planning this since October. And I'm going to get to those other details here right after these videos.
Kaelon Presley went in front of a judge for the first time this morning. I was in that hearing. According to police, Presley first told them he took his dog out before 8 a.m. Saturday morning, and the dog ran away. During that time, he was looking for it. He says someone came in and shot his mom. Police found security footage from the home close by that shows a different set of events. That's when his story changed.
It's crazy, scary.
Cassie Johnson has lived in the Woodland Ridge neighborhood for the last 8 years. What happened Saturday morning has her and others on edge.
Never have any problems over here.
A relatively quiet neighborhood filled with patrol cars and caution tape. 16-year-old Kaelon Presley is accused of killing his mother, Shondra Miller. According to police, Presley didn't admit to the shooting at first, but when his story didn't match the security footage from a nearby home, he started to talk. Police say Presley told them his mom said something that made him mad. While she was sitting on the couch on her phone, Presley walked up and shot her in the head. He told detectives he then threw the shell casings in the yard and took the gun to a friend's house. While he told police what happened, for Cassie Johnson and the rest of the normally quiet community, one question has yet to be answered.
I don't know what could have did something to make you want to shoot your parents.
Family members filled the courtroom this morning in support of Miller and even Presley. While they aren't ready to speak on this yet, they do say it's a very difficult time for the family. Presley's next court date is February 17th. Bob?
Let's talk about a couple things. We'll talk about what they said here in just a moment at the end of that video. Now, Letitia said that he has a whole girlfriend and she stayed with him after hearing that. Yes, she did. Now, Keisha Payne, right below you, said, these kids need a good ass whipping. I know you meant whipping. That's all. We're going to talk about that here in just a moment, because I have answers to all of you guys' questions, because a lot of people want to know, how did we get here? But the people that donated, I'm going to read those here in just a moment, so don't fret. I will read those here in just a moment. We had 4 people donate so far. Those links are in the description box if you guys want to support our channel and our cause and what we stand for here. Let me show you guys one more video real quick. Whoa, that's a little bit loud.
Teenager is in jail tonight on a $1 million bond. He's accused of killing his own mother. Good evening. Thanks for joining us for Fox 16 News at 5:30. I'm Donna Terrell. The 16-year-old appeared in court this morning and this evening. We have new details in this case. Claire Kreitz is following the story for us. And Claire, he's being treated as an adult.
That's right, Donna, he is. 16-year-old Kaelon Presley went in front of a judge for the first time today. I was in that hearing. According to police, Presley first didn't admit to the shooting. Instead, he said someone had come in and shot his mom while he was out looking for his dog. But when police got security footage showing otherwise, that's when his story changed. Police say during questioning, Presley told him that his mom had said something to make him mad. So while she was on the couch looking at her phone, he walked up and shot her. He then told police he threw the shell casings in the yard and dropped the gun off at a friend's house. Even with this new information released, neighbors still wonder how something like this could have happened.
Scary. You don't know what could have did something to make you want to shoot your parents.
Police also questioned neighbors in the area, and one neighbor told them Presley called her after the shooting and told her someone had killed his mom. Then he took a picture of her and sent it to that neighbor. Presley's next court date is February 17th. He is charged with first-degree murder and tampering with evidence. Again, he is being held on a $1 million bond.
Teenager is in jail.
All right, now, for the people that are here, yes, you heard that correctly. The girlfriend knew about this since October. Can everybody else type in the chat and let me know that you heard what I just said? The girlfriend knew about this since October based on what we understand, based on our information. If that's the case, then why is the girlfriend not being held accountable? Does anybody ever wonder stuff like that, or is it just me? I'm just saying, last time I checked, if you witness a crime in some states, you are held accountable if you don't report it, if they found out that you saw it and didn't say anything, if you saw something and didn't say something, right? So in this case, if you knew that her life was pending death, had a looming death plot among the mom, why didn't she say anything, number one? And number two, why is she not being held accountable for having that information and not delivering it to the police, which effectively costs this mother her life? Now, does everybody feel sad for the mom? Thank you, Peach Cutie Pie. She knew and didn't speak up. That's right. I think so, Miss Lovely. She should be charged. She's an accessory, very well could be. Charge her with conspiracy. Lovely lady, I think I agree with that. I think that she should be charged with conspiracy. What do y'all think? Mark said accessory to the fact. I believe so. Doesn't that make her an accomplice? You have to remember that she knew about this information and that this was her boyfriend also. I think that that definitely makes her an accomplice, right? I mean, I'm just saying, last time I checked, if you're driving the car and somebody commits a robbery and somebody dies and you drive that person off, you're charged with murder too, right? Knowing the fact, based on what we know, if it's a fact that she knew about this way beforehand, then that means that she knew that this boy was premeditating his own mother's murder. Now, I'm going to show you guys a couple screenshots that some people are not going to be very happy about, especially the family. So if you're still listening, I understand if you're going to get in your feelings, but I'm going to show you guys some information that might change your mind if y'all feel sad for the mom. First screenshot. Let's talk about this. I'm going to make it big so y'all can see this on the screen, so y'all can see exactly where I got it from. There was somebody on Facebook that wrote, "Please do not speak on a situation that you know nothing about. He was abused," and she's talking about the son in this situation, which is Kaelon Presley, 16 years old, said that he was abused by his mom, was what they meant, all of his life, physically and mentally. You are outside looking in. Why don't we use punctuation? So Tamaya, I'm going to let you know if you ever see this, like you need to go back to basic school and learn how to use punctuation. This is absolutely written terribly. And y'all people, if y'all write like this, stop doing it immediately. This is freaking retarded. Okay? It says you are on the outside looking in. Nobody know what happened behind closed doors. Don't speak on Kaelon's situation if you don't know nothing. If you don't know nothing, they meant if you don't know anything, because that's a double negative. Don't and nothing. Just anyway. If you don't know anything about it, keep your comments to yourself. So before you speak on a situation, know your facts. Thank you. Now, let's just take this as gospel. Let's just say that that's true. What does that mean? That means that the biological mother had been physically and mentally abusing this kid. Does that make a difference? Yes, it does. It makes every bit of difference in the world. Here's another one. Another screenshot says, yes, let me see. According to his IG, folks are saying that he was physically abused. And they confirm, yes, he was, but I'm thinking he just had some issues dealing with a mother that was GAY and no father and other things. But why did he have to kill? Just sad. My daughter showed it to me. The majority of the comments are disgusting. Oh, wow. My friend told me to answer next time he calls. So he's in jail charged as an adult. Now, I want to talk about this again. To the fact that there was no biological father around, and they're saying that the mother had a girlfriend. So my girl got a girlfriend. The mother had a girlfriend. Does that make a difference? Yes, it does. Because most situations where women are raising boys or young men, they don't value masculinity, or do they know how? LGBT, y'all can comment if y'all feel like I'm wrong about this. In a lot of situations, gay and lesbian women do not value masculinity. Another reason why I say that is because you can actually watch in our society in general, most people show a blatant disregard for masculinity. Am I right or am I wrong? Where my fellas at? Where my real ladies at out there that can keep it honest and keep it real? Most people show a disregard for masculinity. So if that's the case, then it is possible that she showed a lackluster behavior with dealing with her son. Is it possible that she spanked and beat her son? Well, let me tell you guys this. One thing that most people might not know about Arkansas is that Arkansas is old school. Arkansas is very old school, and they're very behind in their thinking and their way of dealing with things. I've been there. I've seen it. I know what I'm talking about. Okay? Now, the reason I bring that up is because in the Arkansas culture, they believe in spanking and hitting your kids. Most people out there believe that. Arkansas is very old school. But guess what else is old school? Ass whoopings and beatings by parents. That's old school also. That goes all the way back to slavery days. These type of women tend to treat their children like possessions. Hashtag babies for benefits. Y'all remember that? These women tend to treat these children like they are possessions rather than treating them like they are people. How many of y'all have heard me talk about this a lot? For every action, there will be a greater or equal reaction. So what is the reaction that you think that you're going to get if you beat and spank your children? I'm just wondering. For the people out there, I'm just wondering, if you were beat or spanked and put in a position where your parents physically abused you, how did it make you feel? I'm going to tell you guys. It puts some very, very dark thoughts in your head because you feel trapped, you're emotionally scarred, you're physically scarred, you hurt, and you feel like you can't do anything about it. That puts your mind in a very, very bad place. So if there is a greater reaction for every action that you create, then what do you think that you're going to get from physically imposing your will on children? I've always told you guys, stop hitting children, stop spanking children. It's lazy parenting. Very lazy parenting. Because the only reason why people spank their children is because that they know that they can physically overpower them. They know that the kids can't do shit about it. Ooh, is that going to get me in trouble? The only reason why people use physical spanking against children is because the children cannot physically overpower them. Well, what happens, and why do you guys think that just naturally most people stop spanking their children when they get bigger than them at like around age 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18? You don't spank the kids anymore, do you? It's not just because they've crossed this biological threshold of being grown. No, it's because you physically can't do shit else about it. That's why I've told you guys that it is a very dangerous thing to do, because the second that that child gets a chance to overwhelm you, they will. I've seen it happen. Y'all tell me if I'm lying. What do I think happened in this situation? I believe that the son, in this case, Kaelon Presley, probably was abused by his mom his entire life. He probably didn't feel like a man because he didn't have a father in his life, and probably felt like less of a man because his mom had a girlfriend. Therefore, they did not value masculinity, let alone his. So he saw no value in himself. They saw no value in himself. They treated him as such. And what did he do in return? He took his mom's life. Let's talk about another aspect before we get out of here. They're charging him as an adult. My question is why? My question is why? Why are they charging him as an adult? Especially the fact that if he was abused, he was a victim. I believe that he was probably a victim. But they're going to charge him as an adult because we have this school to prison pipeline, and all they want to do is fill those prisons. And the only way that they can do that is if they charge you as an adult. I think it's just that simple. I don't think it has anything to do with the details of this case, because if they really cared about this boy, then you would have treated him as a boy who was potentially in a situation where he felt stuck. Because I watch this happen all the time, and shout out to my brother Tommy, because I watched his show earlier today, and it seems like we care so much about the anguish that grown women, keep in mind, grown women went through with dealing with professionals and executives. Talking about how they made them feel, and they made them feel like that they were pressured into doing sexual things, right? Grown women. But we cannot turn around and show that same type of compassion for a 16-year-old boy, but we'll show that compassion for a woman in her 20s and 30s. I just think that's weird. Either they're kids or they're adults. Under the law, he is a kid. He is underage. Therefore, I think that he should be charged as such, and I think that they should actually look more into the fact that he was probably abused, because he didn't just wake up and just decide to do this to his mom for no damn reason. Not at all. There was something that prompted this. Does it make it right what he did? No, it does not. It still makes him wrong. It's still going to garner him a punishment, but I definitely don't think that he should be charged as an adult and be charging him with first-degree murder. That's going to throw his entire life away for something that I believe that he did not put himself in this position. His mom put himself in this position, okay? There was one more screenshot, but I'm not going to even bother with that screenshot. That's what my take is on this story. Children can't speak for themselves, nor can they defend themselves. And when they can, this is the type of thing that happens. He decided, I'm going to defend myself. I'm tired of this tyranny. I'm tired of the tyranny of my caretaker. Where's the biological father in this situation? There's no reason with this boy being 16 years old, 15 or 14, why he should not have a strong bond with his biological father. Because again, we don't value masculinity, nor do we value fathers. A father in this situation could have prevented this entire thing, which is why you guys need to check out the movie afatherlessamerica.com, because you will see that fathers are detrimental in this society if they are not there in these lives of these kids. Okay? But that's my take on this story. I definitely want to wish the family of Shondra Miller our condolences. It's very sad. No, I don't wish anything happened to her, but I do believe for every action there's a reaction, and I hope that somebody out there will at least listen to the story of Kaelon Presley and understand where he was coming from and what caused him to get to this point, okay? This is your boy DJ Just Jay. Remember, we're the AFC. We're going to stand in the shoes of the children and speak from their perspective. We advocate for children first, not for adults. We advocate for children first. From my heart to yours, thank you for listening to this story, and we're out of here, okay? That's the end.